try to relax your anus. Your shoulders.
Do I can take the intro. I think we should have like a professional intro this time, and I think I'm ready for one. I'll do it.
Okay, go for it.
Are we recording? Are we recording?
We are recording.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Just Two Guys podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Chip Dangercock, and with me is my co-host. That's right. This time I'm going to use my ring finger.
Is that me?
That's you. That's you.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
it.
yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
ring finger.
All right. I don't know like how long it's been since we recorded the last one. It's time's becoming a blur,
Hey,
right?
it's been less than last time.
Yes, that's true. Last time it was a year, wasn't it?
No.
Slightly short. We're spoiling you guys. We said at the end of last episode we'll catch you on Halloween.
Yeah, that's true actually. But
Yeah,
we do need to make a Halloween special though.
Should we do one for like each of the holidays? So we could do one for Valentine's. We could do one for Independence Day. That's what
America!
Ah!
I could make it. Okay, imagine this. We do
Yeah.
one for Easter, but I actually put in the effort to make like an egg-shaped logo.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Shit. Oh man.
Should we do one? Should we do one for each of the Independence Days? Like not like just America. Yeah, we'll have like India Independence Day, American Independence Day,
When is
Pakistani Independence Day.
when is the Indian Independence Day? I
Yep,
don't know that
and we'll we'll definitely do one for that. Chinese Independence Day.
Are they independent?
Well, I mean, okay, like they're certainly a lot more independent than like the rest of the Western world. For example,
North
I
Korea.
don't know what it is, but apparently like China has like okay, China's history. We always end up on China as a topic.
That's my nickname, man. You know.
No, but like, okay, so China's history. Do you know like after like World War One, I think China got the name called the Sick Man of Asia because they were so ravaged by like everything that happened,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh my God, China's taking over now." I think like you know how people are like this time, like this year, it's your time. I think it's China's time, right? Considering like it went through so many like invasions and all of that kind of stuff. So because Japan like ravaged through China, like it was Japan occupied during like World War One, right? Maybe someone can correct me on the history here, but like the reason like so communism is like the ruling party in China, and the reason that happened was because China was initially a democratic state. They had votes,
Yeah.
you know, all of that kind of stuff, and then like when World War One was going on, uh, Mao Zedong, what he did was he Chairman Mao, but no, like, but like what he did was he started reading about like communist literature, okay,
Yeah.
and he was like from like this countryside area of China. So what he did was when he like read communist literature, when he saw like the war was coming to China, what he did was he got like a few followers, and what he did was he kept getting communist literature from Russia. I don't know how he read it, considering it's Russian.
The
But what he
Bible.
did was, and like so when people when the Russians were saying like, okay, you're not, the Russians were in contact with him and they said you're not doing a good job spreading communism to the Chinese, and he was like, no, you don't understand. In Russia, communism is already the ruling
In
law.
in Mother Russia.
Yeah.
Communism.
Communism runs you, right? But like, he said like in Russia, communism is already the ruling law of the land. In China, it takes time. So the best way you can do that is by introducing it to the lower working class.
So this is
So he would
interesting.
go.
Weren't they like communist, like all the way through history, or was it?
No,
I mean,
no,
no,
no, no,
because
no,
they
no,
had
no.
emperors, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, World War One was where you started seeing the birth of it. So what he did was, what Mao Zedong did was, he said like, there's no there's no point in me like trying to go to the upper class and selling this. That they're not going to accept it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So what he did was, he then started like pitching it to the lower working class farmers, and like he started causing like riots, like they would like beat the shit out of their landowners and shit like that, right? And then when like Japan was invading China, he said, that's it, like all of you that are supporting communism will go to, so the whole of Asia, if you go from like India, Nepal, China, all of that, they're separated by the Himalayan mountains,
yeah.
right? So the part of China he was from were like, I think it was like the offshoot of those mountain range. So he like took his followers up there, right? And he was like, we're gonna stay here and we're gonna create this communist utopia, right, until the war like completely subsides.
Yeah.
And then whilst he was there, he's such a genius. What he did wasn't good, but he was like, he would be like, okay, so this is what communism can be. And what he would do is, he was like, every Sunday, right, people can like come to the public square and then voice their concerns, right? And what it was is like, whoever had like the best changes to implement, right, they can be the new leader. So he's like, like, I don't really care about being leader, it's just about moving the cause forward. But what he would do is, anyone who would like critique, anyone who raises a concern is critiquing something,
Yeah.
right? So anyone who would critique him, he'd be like, okay, that's cool, and then at the end of the night he'd kill them and like hide their body.
Oh, so that's the reference. Okay, so basically there was this Star Wars parody thing where
Yeah,
people
yeah,
the fucking stormtroopers were putting like complaints on a complaint box and shit.
yeah,
And Darth Vader was just next to the box constantly, and like as soon as they
yeah,
put in the anonymous complaint, Darth
yeah.
Vader was just like, "Oh, so you put a complaint, huh? Better ice cream. You don't like vanilla?"
No, but like that's what he did, and then eventually, unsurprisingly, people got the idea, and they were like, okay, well, there's no one here to challenge him, right? So he's like, well, I guess I'm the leader, right? And then what he did was, after the war was over and China was like completely destroyed after like being like ravaged by it, he went down and he was like, behold, I'm your messiah. I can bring you communist values.
It is
But the
I.
issue, yeah, yeah, but the issue was. You're about to catch this as a dog, right? But no, he he showed up and he started making like stronger ties to Russia. And what happened was, this is where like China kind of got screwed. So Mao said that in 15 years' time he's gonna make China like a superpower, right? He's gonna speed up the economical growth. And the way he was gonna do that was, he made a deal with Russia that Russia would send nuclear armaments to them. In return, China will send them grains of like rice. So the Russians don't have to worry about food, and the Chinese get like really big advanced equipment from the Russian, right? But the issue is that, one, the Russians sent the equipment, but they sent it all in Russian, so they couldn't read it, right? They couldn't understand how to work the fucking equipment. And the other issue is, because Mao was like sending disproportionate amounts of like grains of rice to like Russia. People say like Hitler killed 6 million Jews. That's bad. I agree, right? And it's a horrible human casualty. Mao killed 12 million of his own people out of hunger, because he took the grains that they were growing and he was giving it to Russia, right? And what ended up happening was, when his people started complaining, saying like, "No, listen, we're like running out of food. Like there are children and elderly people dying." Right? He said, "Well, it's not because I'm taking grains of rice from you. The actual reason is, you see those." And he was like, "You see those red sparrows that fly over your fields during like summer?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, they're eating the grains, right? And if one sparrow eats like 10 grains of rice, then 100 sparrow, like you're losing money, right? So what you need to do is, you need to kill all the sparrows, right?" So the Chinese farmers were like, "You're right," and they went through this thing called the culling of the sparrows, where what they did was, like, they would throw stones, they would make loud noises, so like the sparrows would have to land out of exhaustion, right?
Chinese Eating War.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, dude.
And then like when they killed all of the sparrows, they were like, okay, cool. That means our rice is going to be fine. But what they failed to realize was maybe sparrows eat grains of rice. I don't know. I'm not a bird scientist. But like the thing is like what the sparrows did eat were the bugs that would destroy the grains of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually they had like a plague because they got rid of the main predator that takes care of locusts. Okay.
Yeah.
So like that was like the eventual like stunting of like China's growth. But now like I this is gonna sound like a doomsday podcast now, but like it is impressive how powerful they've actually become. There's no
Awesome.
there's no like telling what they could do. And like the worst part is like the worst part is so Barbados was like part of the Commonwealth, I think, and now they've left the English Commonwealth because China, I think, has offered to give them more like enticing offers,
Yeah.
right? And it's not just that. When the UN was sanctioning like I think maybe it was the UN, maybe it was the Commonwealth, but when they were saying like that's it, we're gonna like put like an embargo on China, we're not gonna like accept any of their stuff. New Zealand refused to do it because their largest like income was from suppliers from China. So it's like they played a very clever game of like what you do is you get monopolies on the tiny countries because technically like they are like the backbone of the larger ones.
Hmm.
Like in England they always say like oh you have to small businesses are like the backbone of the economy. China's pretty much taken it to like a larger scale.
Yeah, they take
So you
it.
need to
They've taken
yeah,
it to other countries.
yeah exactly. But yeah, and like now also like they're jumping onto the NFT game. Did you?
Oh, you know,
You have
yeah,
your own
that was
reservation.
that's good. That's
Thank you.
good. I was gonna do something along the lines of, yeah, Winnie the Pooh's a bitch. You know what else is a bitch?
NFTs. Do you know what really grinds my gears? Do you know what really grinds my pixelated gears? That could be your NFT, to be honest.
No fucking thanks.
Okay, tell me what's troubling you about NFTs.
Right. So basically, okay, right. So people are fucking nuts about NFTs, and like we're jumping on the bandwagon, obviously, quite fucking late. Um, but basically, you're not really buying a good. Like I have this piece of paper right here. If you
Yeah,
buy an NFT with which is the picture of this represented by the picture of this, you don't even own the paper. You don't own the picture of the paper. You literally don't own anything, right? So basically, what you know Josh Strife Hayes, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, an MMO player, right? So basically, he made a very. I really liked the way he explained it and made an analogy for it, which was basically there's people in line shopping, right? And there's people outside. No, okay. There's one guy doing the shopping, and there's people outside that want to buy this guy's tickets, right? And like the guy makes purchases, and each purchase is a receipt, right? So the guy buys milk, and he finishes that purchase. Then he passes the pasta, and he has a receipt for the pasta. Then he passes butter, it has a receipt for the butter. And then he goes outside, and there's like one person that's like, wow, I really like that receipt right there. The milk one? You see the milk one? Oh my god, the milk one is the best one. And so that person pays like $5
Yeah.
for the receipt for the milk. And the other people are like, yo, did that dude just buy a receipt? Fuck yeah, let's buy a receipt. So the other dudes are like, all right, I'll give $10 for the butter one, right? And it's just like he gives him the butter receipt for $10, right? And now the dude that has the milk receipt, that was the first receipt ever made, right? That was the
Yeah.
first one. So that guy's like, all right, this is the first one. You see how popular this NFT is? Right. I'll sell you the the milk and milk receipt, right? For $15. And the other dude is like, is it the first one? He's like, yes. One of a kind. And the guy's like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Give me that shit. So he pays $15 for that. And then it's like, oh, but wait, now a percentage has to go back to the original owner. Let's say 33% for easy numbers,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
the dude that had the milk receipt gets $10. The original owner or creator gets $5 extra from that purchase, and the dude that now has it paid $15 for a receipt. But the thing is, if the main dude just decides like, yeah, no, I want my receipts back. Give me my receipts. Or in other words, shuts
you can
down
have
the
them
server
back.
because it's not
Oh yeah,
anyone's.
because it's not. Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's literally paying to be in line for nothing.
yeah.
That's what it is. That's literally what it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
imagine. So basically, the blockchain. This is what I understand from it. Okay, I'll do the
yeah.
same exact thing as all these fucking gurus say about about NFTs, right?
Epic foreshadowing.
What they do is they say stuff along the lines of, "I'm not an expert." From the, Ben Shapiro does that as well. I'm not an
Yeah,
expert. From the
yeah.
moment they say this, you can say
The,
whatever the fuck you want because it doesn't matter because you're not an
yeah,
expert. You didn't claim
yeah,
to know everything about it. Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah,
what I understand from the blockchain is like basically, let's say the first position is 001, right? The second position 002, so on and so forth, right? So what you're buying is the privilege of being 001 or the privilege of being 002, but in our brain we can't like put value in being a certain number because there's nothing like proving that we're that number. So what
yeah.
they do is they have an AI or a bot, whatever, and it creates pictures, which is like easy to actually perceive.
Okay.
So basically, for example, imagine the monkeys one. Have you seen the monkeys NFTs,
Yeah,
right?
there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know the name. I think it's like bored apes or something like that. Something like
Right.
that. Basically, they have the same face. They all have the same face. They all have the same torso. But like, imagine you have 10 different eye combinations, like ten
Yeah.
different eyes. Then you have 10 different mouths. Like one has a cigarette, one has beard, one doesn't have beard, right? So it's like so that alone, it's already 100 NFTs right there, like
Yeah.
100 pictures.
Yeah.
Then you change like the nose 10 times as well, so that's like 1,000 now. Then you just put him like on fucking I don't know. You put a fucking hat on it. That's another fucking like just 10,000 now, right?
Yeah.
And people think they're buying pictures and gifts and shit, but they don't own these pictures or gifts or shit. They literally own nothing. They just have the privilege of saying they're represented by this
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
they paid a bunch of shit for this. So the world of crypto and NFTs, it's not able to be tracked, right?
Right.
I mean, it's able to be tracked. Everything is saved. Everything is saved on the blockchain, but
Yeah.
the government can't actually like take care of that because it's not real money per se.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, what companies do, so companies are not allowed to lie to the customer. That's illegal, right? Something along those
Yeah.
lines. So
So they
Coca
do
Cola,
like those. They do
yeah,
like those legal loopholes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So for example, Coca Cola can't be like, oh yeah, we have 0% sugar on the normal Coca Cola. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
100% safe for the diabetic people. They can't do
Yeah.
that, right? Because it,
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
actually kill someone and they could be sued. But on NFTs though, what they do is so you know how you can have, for example, me in League of Legends, I have like 15 accounts, right?
Okay.
Imagine that those are crypto wallets, right?
Right.
So I buy an NFT with my first wallet, and
Hmm.
then I go to my other wallet, my second wallet, and I buy that NFT from myself for
Right.
more money. And then on my third wallet, I buy that NFT from my second wallet for even more money. And I'm McDonald's by the way, right? And then
Yeah.
Coca Cola comes around and it's like, I also have 30 accounts. We could make something out of this. We'll split at
You
the
can
end.
collab. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do a little collaborino.
Yeah.
Bust the neutrino bomb right there. And yeah, so basically now these massive fucking companies, they're just selling and buying from themselves. And what this does is it creates an illusion of value. It creates
Yeah.
an illusion of need and shit like that, right? And now this like 001 position in the blockchain for the McDonald's NFT is like the best fucking thing in the world. And the last time it was sold, it was for $10,000. So it can only get higher. This happened in a month, right? The next month is probably going to be like 100,000, 200,000, a million, right? So people are just like, yeah, dude, let me invest right now. But what happens after that? No one has money to give to give for that. No one's gonna compensate your $10,000 expense.
So here's the thing, like I think that first of all, when I like saw NFTs, I saw like a post on Instagram where they were like, "These are the new NFTs of like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jordan Belfort and all of these." And I was like, I don't understand. Are they releasing like stickers? You know, like when you're on like chat, you can like.
Oh yeah,
I was
kind of
like,
like
is that? Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. Like, do I have to pay to use Leonardo's sticker? I don't, I don't get it, right? And then, and then like where it started getting really dodgy is like I think you must have seen like when Stan to commemorate Stan Lee's passing, they made NFTs
Such a
that you
bad
could
move,
put.
honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like it was, I think it was done by India as well. Like the
The
king of
tech
bad
masters.
moves. The king of bad moves. Before anyone's gonna like jump on me, bite me. Okay, I think you can guess where my ethnicity is. But like the thing is like I think like with these kind of stuff, right? You know, like these smart investments,
Yeah.
right? Unless the thing is physical, the investment isn't very smart because
Yeah.
its values fluctuate. I'll give a good example. Um, for example, watch collectors, right? They don't like high brand watches. They don't call them watches. They call them timepieces, right? And like the thing is like you can you can buy a watch today that's like £100, yeah, and legit after like a week or so the price can spike. I was trying to buy a watch. It was a Seiko 5, right, for Christmas.
Yeah.
And like for whatever reason it was like £120, and for whatever
Oh
reason I was
my
like,
god, Jesus, that's too much.
yeah, I know. I'd wear it to the toilet. That's how much like I'm getting my 120 quid's worth out of it. But no, like but like it was like £120, and I was like, you know what, I'll buy it. But then like halfway through I was like, you know what, I don't really need it. I've got like other watches that can kind of do the same thing, right? Maybe like first salary I'll spend it like, you know, like as a celebratory thing. But like the thing is like I went back on like Seiko's like website to see it again, and it went from £120 to 245.
Really?
And the value, yeah, the value is only gonna go up.
Like in the actual shop or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in
yeah, 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 yeah.
shop?
No, no, no. Like literally, like it spiked,
Yeah.
right? Internet, it went from like £110 to like I think 195. So it's still a spike, right? And like the thing is like with like physical products like these, you can kind of see small drops, but the value you're still making profit than what you initially bought it for if you
Yeah.
like keep it in good nick condition,
As opposed to
right?
buying cars because they depreciate in value unless they're super rare to begin with.
Yeah, 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 exactly. There was I was watching like a video online where they were saying how a guy was showing like a series of Rolex watches, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, so retail price for this watch is like £4,000, yeah? But the market value for how many people actually like are in like invested in this watch pushes it to 18,000.
Yeah.
It's this, right? And like the thing is like let's say you do buy it for 4,000, the market value is only going to increase, but at no point is it going to go below the 4,000 that you spent it on, that you spent on it, right? Meanwhile with like NFTs, right? Like you said, you're paying to be in line for something that isn't even yours, right?
No, you're paying to be just in line. That's it.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. You're paying to be in line, to just queue, right? That's
Imagine
it.
imagine. Remember when people were releasing the new iPhone and shit like that, and people made a huge line in front of Apple stores and shit like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but imagine that, but you're paying to be in the line, and the Apple store is just a wall.
It's bizarre though, like that's a very good analogy. It's it's bizarre though, like Apple hasn't like jumped on. You'd think like with the amount of
Do
people
they
and
need?
companies, I think so. Okay, I'll put it this way. When I use an iPhone, it's fine. Like I don't get it. I don't get it when people are like up in arms about like okay, I'll put it this way, like when people say like, "Oh, what's that? You use Apple?" Oh, I'm not gonna fund the 90, the 1%, making money. I'm like, and then they pull out like a Samsung Galaxy Fold, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool, 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 right? Do what you want, man. Okay, fucking hell, you're pulling a TV out of your pocket, and you're getting shitty with me because my phone has like three cameras. That's it, right? But no, like the thing is like Apple has like ardent followers, and I
Yeah.
think it's because they created the thing called the ecosystem,
Yeah.
right? Which is actually really cult like, which is like, let's say you have no, no, let's say you have an Apple Watch, right? And then you're like, okay, Apple releases like the Apple, sorry, the Apple phone, then you have like the Apple Watch, yeah, and like you're like, oh cool, so I can pair my Apple Watch to my Apple phone, which means I don't have to like take my phone with me. I can go anywhere because the watch does what the phone needs to do,
Yeah.
yeah. And then from there, what ends up happening is like, okay, now like I've also got like a MacBook Pro, okay, and like it turns out like okay, now I don't need my phone or the watch at times because my MacBook can do pretty much what the other two can as well, right? So you create like this nice ecosystem where everything is in sync, right? Everything around you has like this control. But the issue is, this is where it becomes kind of culty. If you decide to leave the ecosystem, right, to put it in the way the Scots would, right? Like the thing is like, the thing is like, you you because the thing is, let's say like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna get rid of my phone, my Apple phone. That means like my watch becomes nothing but a paperweight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what's it in sync with? And then like the MacBook is no better than like a standard subpar laptop.
You
So
know
if you
what?
decide to,
Paperweight. A transparent glass globe.
that would be great.
So sick.
That would be great. We watch 90 Day Fiance, like the pinnacle of trash TV. You can call us basic bitches, it's fine. But like in the background, there was like this glass globe, and like you kept eyeing it up, and I was like, oh, imagine if you filled it up with water, because
Oh,
like the countries are all blacked out, but like the rest of the globe that's transparent is transparent, so you could add like water in there, and then like put like blue food coloring,
oh
and
man,
you've got
that's
like,
so good.
it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool.
You know what's
Right.
peak trash TV though?
What
Uh,
is peak trash?
for some reason, it's top three on in Portugal right now on Netflix.
Right.
Too hot
Right.
to handle. Do you know what it is?
Is this like in the same vein as
Love
X
Island.
on the Beach and Love
Oh,
Island?
yes, ish.
Okay.
So basically, all right. Let me just sidetrack for a moment.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. Let's not even sidetrack. Let's detour. We're never gonna come back to this. It's fine.
Okay.
Dude,
So
I'm okay with it.
okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. So they
Yeah.
invite 10 people. So
Yeah.
five women, 5 men, and something along those lines, right? The numbers might be wrong, but
Yeah.
um, they have a total prize pool of $200,000, right? And
Okay.
their job in that island is to not fuck. That is it. That is literally the whole challenge. The challenge is for them to be a month without fucking with each other.
It's weird because the thing is like 5 years ago, this is what you made fun of like 15-year-olds. Like I bet you can't even like go a day without jerking off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And now like I take it these are adults.
yeah. They are. I
Oh
mean,
my god.
25, 30, but they're like models and shit like that, right? All in bikinis
Yeah,
and whatever, right? There was
yeah.
a guy that was literally a stripper.
Can you bring like I don't know, some kind of personal belonging into like this little testing area basically?
I'm thinking so. They all behave like they're
Yeah, so
robots.
what if what if you just bring a beast of a PC unit? You're never gonna like.
So basically, the program directors, producers, whatever, they
Yeah.
want them to have sex.
Yeah,
Basically,
obviously, because they don't want to give the money. Yeah.
yeah. It's not because they don't want to give the money. They want the drama, right? So basically, this
Yeah.
prize pool is for everyone, and like if you hug, that's like $5,000 gone. If you
Really?
Yeah, if you kiss it on the mouth, on like lip on lip
Yeah.
action,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
10,000, 20,000. And if they have sex, it's like 50,000, right? So then there's like this couple that's like really fucking horned up. They can't hold for another 2 days or an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're like, it has to do it, right? So
Holy shit.
it has to happen. And the thing is, what's even funnier to me is that these people have no fucking shame, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing. So I don't know how, but they come to this island not knowing that they're coming on Too Hot to Handle. They think they're going on a vacation trip or something like that, which is just like,
Yeah.
how do they not know? I mean, these people clearly have watched the other seasons. Yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah. So there's always this one couple that's fucking horned up as fuck, right? And they have to have sex in the first 20 minutes. Okay, like okay, you don't understand it. Okay, Kumar, it has to happen. Okay, and then there's these 2 or 3 people. They're like, yo, this guy doesn't want to win money. He's taking away my money. Yeah, he needs to get the fuck out of here, right? And it starts the drama, and then
Right, yeah.
it's like, yeah, let's go. And then they start crying to the fucking robot lady, kind of like the cube or the buttons.
Yeah, they always get the fucking robot, don't
Yeah,
they?
they cry to the robot like, he's such a bitch. Also, it's really great that they use robot voices and whatnot for the.
Yeah, you know who they should use? You know who they should use? They should use the voice of the lady from Dark Souls. Welcome back, you little dickheads.
Evil order.
Yeah, yeah. You sexually repressed dickhead.
I like the dude's intros though. The dude's intros and girls' intros is just like, yeah, whenever I go to a party, I'm all about the sex appeal. I can't go one night without fucking with 3 fucking girls. They're basically the non nerds. Imagine Henry Cavill, but not
Yeah.
nerdy. It's just
Yeah. So
everyone's a douche.
terrible. Yeah. Because I think the one redeeming, well, I'm sure he's a great guy, but like the one very evidently redeeming quality about him is that he is very geeky, and
Yeah.
like okay, look, you can be happy about who you are as a person, right? You can be proud to own it, right? But I think there are certain things that like you can push in other people's face where they'll be like, okay, that's fine. Like for example, we both know someone who's very happy and like very excited about the fact that he likes Warhammer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and like whenever he talks to us about it, we're like, okay, like like it's it's cute that it's his thing, right? And then we also know someone whose entire personality is being an alcoholic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we absolutely despise the person, okay? And you wouldn't want to spend a second with the person, right? And like the thing is, like I feel like people from like Love Island, Too Hot to Handle, are like the latter.
Yeah,
Their
definitely.
entire personality is whether they can like
Have muscles.
I sound like a church. Their entire personality is going against the will of God. It's being sinners,
Have
right?
demons.
Okay, not repenting, okay. And the only time they get on their knees, okay, is to swallow the Bible rather than read it. Okay, so like,
The biggest challenge, by the way. So usually they have this redeeming moment. At least one of the couples will always have the redeeming moment, and the
yeah,
redeeming moment is like they have to go. So okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to get with them being no shame whatsoever. It's like Big Brother or something like that.
yeah.
It's a room with a bunch of people and a bunch of cameras, and these dudes are like, "Yeah, let's fuck." There's like 15 people
Yeah,
in the room, and they're like, "Yeah, this is a good time."
real quick, did you? There's a video online where like because the whole point of Big Brother is they're isolated from society,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
They don't get any info in unless, say, like a family member dies. Could you imagine if they don't even tell them that? Like an idiot. Man, I can't believe I won. I can't believe I'm gonna spend so much time with my wife and kids.
And died, and your kids killed themselves because of it.
What about my wife?
She died in a fire.
And then he just like shoots himself, right? Like,
But you won $1 million.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, but like,
positives.
so like that. You have me like $1 million that you don't have to share. No
Yeah,
responsibilities.
exactly.
Ja, men väldigt trumps. Look like the government is.
I'm only 5
Yeah,
years old.
but like there's a video that got like really popular where like when they were filming Big
Yeah.
Brothers, Big Brother, multiple Big Brothers, multiple
And the
timelines.
picture is fallen.
Well, kind of, except
Okay.
they got the news of like COVID hitting because they were
Oh,
so out of the loop,
oh,
right? And
right.
and
Yeah.
like the person who was telling them was like she didn't. I think she undersold how dangerous like the situation actually was when COVID hit. She was like, "Oh, by the way, there's a pandemic," and they're like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, there's a pandemic.
And you all need
People
to
are
stay at home.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
people are people are all staying at home. Couple of deaths. Nothing too nothing too
Couple million.
dangerous. Yeah, right. But like I saw that and I was like, reality show aside, that must be like jarring to hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because how long is that? Like, how long are they in like those hubs? Do you know? Is it like
So,
a month or so?
too hot to handle should be like a month, something along those lines. Yeah.
Right. And let's say in a month, like something like that. Let's say like okay, the world has gone into nuclear war, right? And then they left the too hot to handle island because they were like, I don't want STDs, right? And then when they come out and like they hear like, oh, by the way, yeah, society it's now post apocalyptic.
Oh,
That
but I
was
don't have my bunk. I don't have a bunker. I only have my
what?
trousers.
What? That's crazy. People have died. I gotta have sex right now.
What? Is that a car? Yeah. Where's the escape? Man.
We gotta have sex right now.
Oh yeah, but like the thing about the show is that if they're not causing drama or trying to get into a relationship or trying to have sex,
Yeah.
the robot voice host thing just kicks them out.
Really? So they
Yeah,
just can't even be.
and brings out new people, horned more horned up than the other one.
It just plucks them out of the sea because I always see
Yeah,
them coming out of the water.
yeah, yeah, these come in boats and whatnot. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, migrant workers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, who's that? And they're all like, all the women have like huge tits and shit like that. All the men are muscular as fuck. Oh, god,
It is,
it's tough.
like I respect their decision if they want to have like huge tits and stuff like that. But like having like the surgery marks underneath is
Yeah,
always rather off-putting.
yeah.
I don't.
My brother
it,
actually showed me one picture. It was on Nine
I,
Gag.
ju- I just I just want to say like because the thing is like sometimes from certain angles if you look at it underneath it looks like the top of a pasty. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like at least you know what you're getting inside a pasty. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
My brother showed me a picture of this woman, and like he's like, "Does she look hot?" And I'm like, she looks hot, but kind of weird in a way. It looks way too polished, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he scrolled down to the comment, and some guy was like, this is heavily photoshopped, right? And then my brother actually pulled out like pictures of her in actual prawn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's not very pretty in comparison. Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't know. There's like a there surely must be a limit where like even the person getting the surgery must think like oh like I fucked up royally,
Yeah,
you know?
this woman was born with big melons, okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
hooters were pretty large.
Yeah.
But she decided she needed a surgery to make them bigger, and now she has like fucking coffee bags that she needs to carry on her shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Why?
Like Santa delivering
Yeah,
presents.
yeah, exactly. Just going down fucking people's chimneys naked and whatnot. It's fucking
Did
weird.
you did you hear about the Korean fan lady?
There was a black guy. Sorry. Yeah.
No, but did you hear about the Korean fan lady?
Korean fan lady. No.
Like, okay, so the reason they call her the fan lady is because so she was a famous actress or singer, right? And then like she got like her first. I think what she did was she got like I think like her eyes lifted, like her brows lifted or something, so they don't look as
Is that also a
sunken.
thing?
Yeah, brow lifts, yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And I think like it's
In this world.
yeah, right. Except my self-esteem. No, but like the thing is like she got like her brow lifted,
Okay.
and like and like after that she was, I think that's how it starts. It's always like it's kind of like smoking. You're like, okay, I'll have one, I'm not going to get addicted, I don't mind having another, right?
Yeah.
You start off small till you get big, right? And like the thing is like the thing is like
Huge eyebrows.
no, no,
With
no, no, no,
the
no, no. It's actually messed up. It's actually messed up. What happens is like she then got like cheek Botox and then lips,
yeah.
and then it got to such a point where the doctors were like, "I'm not like it would be medically dishonest of me to give you any more like injections,
Yeah,
right?"
that dude, the Kendall dude and shit like
Wait,
that.
wait, 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 wait. Hold on. It's about to get a lot worse. So
Oh,
what happens is like she had to get a fix some other way, right? So she went to like some like back alley like plastic surgery and stuff like that. They did some stuff and like her face no longer looked slim. It actually looked fat because of like how much of Botox they
oh,
added.
kind of like Darcy actually
Yeah,
from.
yeah, 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 yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. If you didn't believe that we watched 90 Day Fiance, there you go. Right. Darcy and Stacy, the both of the sisters got it. But no, like this lady got that, and then like, she was like, right, that's it. Like I'm not getting enough of a fix. She does it herself, and what she does is she takes cooking oil and injected it into her
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right. And like, unsurprisingly, like having too much grease, like consumed, like if you eat it, right, residue and shit like that, it gives you acne, it makes your skin dry out and stuff. So you can only imagine what happens like when you like inject it into
You know,
your face.
and this is dangerous because there was actually an episode of A Thousand Ways to Die where they did injections with dodgy shit and the woman died.
There was but no, like there's several, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was a Brazilian model who wanted to get like a bigger ass,
Yeah.
and then like a plastic surgeon put cement into like ass cheeks.
What?
Fucking brick top. It's like she must have clacked as she walked, just like to
You're gonna slap that shit, break your hand?
break her hand.
Yeah. No, but seriously, what?
Yeah, 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 yeah. They put, I think, like, or something like similar to cement. Like they were like, don't worry, this will like give you a fat ass, and and
It's
like and I
straight
think like the yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like the thing that gave it away for her was like when she was walking past a construction site and they lifted her and put her on top of a wall.
and she became part of the wall permanently.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I do think that what's the face? It must start off tiny. I think like how people say like the term gateway drug, something that
Yeah,
like gets you
yeah,
started on
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Even like okay, so for example, like in a lighter sense, Full Metal Alchemist stuff like that, people always say like, oh, it's a gateway anime. It's a thing that gets you into anime,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
It's the same thing with like these things. I reckon they always say like weed is a gateway drug, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
and I don't know how true this is, but I think there's some validity in it. Like you can't get addicted to weed, but you can become dependent on it. You know?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine was saying like it only becomes a problem when you start doing it like on your own, like not like
Frequently.
when it's like yeah, 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 like
Yeah,
not when it's like a social gathering or anything like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think like there was a there was another case as well where I saw like a guy to like so in order to deal with this is turning into like body body disorders now, but like in order to deal with like he saw himself as fat, so I think he suffered from bulimia. Is that the one where no, anorexia, right? So he kept thinking he was fat, and he was like he would work out like 15 hours a day, literally like 15 hours a day, that's it, right? And whenever he was at work, the breaks in between, he would like do high intensity workouts, and
The
he was like,
fuck?
clearly, yeah, 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 yeah. And he was like, clearly this isn't working for me. So then what he did was he started like consuming ungodly amounts of laxatives,
Yeah.
right? And it got to the point where like he was like I like interviewer questions where they were like, when did you think this became dangerous? Like at which point did you realize this became and he was like, oh, the part where I almost died. Like, I think that's the door. That's the side where I feel like it became dangerous.
Oh, actually, now that you're mentioning working out crazily and shit like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and addictions. You know my crazy addiction, also from TLC.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see that one where the woman was addicted to eating some sort of like floury thing? I don't remember what it was. It was like cement or wall dust, whatever it was. I
Oh,
don't remember.
drywall.
Drywall. I think that was the
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah,
and they put
yeah.
like a bunch of drywall into like a pool. No, no, no.
Yeah,
It was the cornstarch thing. I think, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They made like the whole thing, and it's like, oh look, this is what you're consuming yearly, and something like that. And to help her grow out of the addiction, they
yeah.
instead told her to take protein powder. It's like, no, no, don't do that. You're not gonna.
That's the thing, though, aren't you? You're just replacing one addiction for another.
Yeah, and protein powder is actually insanely dangerous if you just spoon it and fucking spoon it like crazy.
There was a woman who was addicted to eating like sofa foams, you know, like the foam
Oh,
inside
that's
sofas,
awesome.
right? And she would be like, have you noticed like a lot of the stories, like it's split down the middle. Like some are like some past trauma, like my husband left me,
Yeah,
and like this is how I found comfort. I
yeah,
found comfort by eating dog turds or something. I don't know
yeah.
how you like,
I
right?
don't know. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
woman eating breaks and she's like,
but
I just like to eat the crunch.
yeah, but like the one with the one that ate like the sofa foam, she was like, oh, you know, like I went out shopping one day and I just needed something to snack, and I was like, I wonder how this would taste, and then yum 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 yum, and like, yum,
I
yum,
hate your
yum, yum, yum. But like, but like, she ate that, and I was like, surely that must. Doctors, I can see why they get paid a lot, like surgeons in particular.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the stuff that they have to. Do you know what the coolest thing I've learned this week about surgery, particularly brain surgery?
Yeah.
Do you know what a standstill surgery is?
A standstill.
Yeah,
No.
a standstill surgery is brain surgery where the patient is awake whilst the doctor is operating on his brain.
Okay.
Right. So what they do is they give like a local anesthetic to the
The
area,
ice strategy. Right,
right through the eye,
right.
self-automated lobotomy. But like, no, no, but like, yeah, so they add like a local anesthetic to the area, right? And then they start like working on the brain because I think it's something to do with like they need the patient to be conscious to see like which area is affecting it, right?
Yeah.
So like what they'll do is like they'll like distract the patient as they do the surgery. They'll be like, "Can you like I don't know, tell me about your day and stuff like that." And then they'll be like, the patient will be like, "Oh, you know, I went out running today and stuff like." And then as soon as they like press on the affected area, they just go like, "I went out running and and then they like remove it, and then the patient talks normally and they're like, "Okay, we found the area like that needs to be
Yeah.
off." I'm just like, that's insane though.
Yeah, I would not do that. I would not voluntarily do that.
No, no, no. But like, but
For a
like.
couple of tea.
You know when people say something like it, you could like no matter how much you pay me, I'll never do something. That's a lie because there's gonna come a point where like money kind of crosses your moral standards for things. You
You
know?
know what's peak internet for me? I fucking it's the videos I love the most is when a woman legitimately asks their husband, boyfriend, whatever, right? Would you punch me for $1 million? And they're like, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
million dollars.
yeah.
And they get
Yeah.
offended by it. I'm like, stupid bitch.
But the thing is like they don't even realize the whole uh there's $1 million punching, that's fair, right? I think that's fair. I would I would be pissed off with you if you didn't punch me in the face for $1 million.
Yeah,
Like yeah, right.
I do it for
So
free.
I already do, and you're telling me I'm gonna get paid? But no,
Oh,
like.
petit kuri.
Mon petit lechine. Fuck. But no, like the thing is like those things as well. Like you can what's a you can like lightly tap them. Like they don't consider all of those things, right? I used to I knew a girl, just the one. It was the only one I was allowed to know. But no, like
No
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I think we would know the same girl. But no. She would ask dumb questions like this,
What
right?
a bitch.
I remember she asked her ex something like she asked her ex something like it was something along the lines of, if you didn't know me, right, would you date other girls? And he was like, well, yeah. I don't, what how did that work? Like, right? And like in a typical, I want to say like a typical dude fashion. But I think we were like 16 at the time. He was like, are we talking like alternate timeline? Like, were we just never met? Like, how many of these are there that don't meet? Right? And then she's like, no, like seriously, like, would you like date other girls? He was like, well, yeah. And she got upset with him, like for like a good month or so. They had like constant arguments about this.
Kumar, if I was a crocodile, would you still talk to me? Would we still have the podcast?
How dare you? You know I identify as a crocodile.
That was this woman. I was doing a bunch of. Okay, I don't know if it's a woman at this point, but she made a bunch
Yeah,
of like operations as well, like what we were talking just a minute ago. I'm missing the word.
brain
Pl-
surgery.
no, plastic surgery.
Oh, plastic surgery. Yeah.
They were making a bunch of plastic surgeries to look like a dragon, and then someone asked like, "What gender
Yeah.
are you?" And they're like, "I don't know. I haven't done that one yet." It's like, what do you mean?
Did you? There. I think like it's a big boom in like Peru and Mexico to like get like facial
Dragon?
alteration. Yeah, to make yourself look like a dragon.
Why?
I don't
Dragon?
know, and like they do the thing where they cut their tongue down the middle because technically it's two separate muscles, so that it could like be
Yeah.
forked.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
Yeah. Right.
That's
Also,
horrible.
like it is horrible, but it can also be convenient. Do you ever get like an itch on the middle of your tongue? You can use one
No,
side to scratch it.
you can't because it's soft.
No. Because the thing is, like, you can do the thing like tongue twisters where you can twist your tongue. If you cut it down the middle, you can see them. They like move individual muscles. Like you figure it
Yeah.
out, right? So you could use one side to like go over to the other and like scratch it.
Listen, listen. Imagine your arm is itchy, but you don't
Yeah.
have nails. You just scratch it with the tips of your fingers.
Do you not get those? Yeah, but you can still. Yeah, if you like rub it fast enough, you could get
Yeah,
friction.
if you make a fire with your arm, yeah, it will
You're not
scratch
making
it.
a fire though. You're literally just rubbing the surface. That's the same thing with this, right?
It's not.
It is.
It's a
If you
soft
like,
and lubricant.
no. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you stick your tongue out, right, the tip becomes hard. Yeah. No, not like that. It's not my fault you have a cow tongue. All right. I'm just saying. Right. Okay.
People wondering this.
It's not my fault you have a cow tongue. Right. I'm just saying. Some of us who aren't apparently incest children, right, have regular tongue movements. So you
Just
can like
because my family tree is a circle doesn't mean anything. Okay,
this is why you can never become a dragon, Joe. Right?
damn it.
But no, like there was like a bunch of them. Also, the ones where this is something that actually does like bother me slightly. You can sharpen your teeth to make them all look like fangs,
No,
right?
no, no,
But then the part that doesn't make sense for me is, well, that because like the thing is like your teeth are shaped a certain way because they do different
things.
applications. Yeah, your canines are there to cut, your molars are there to crush, and then your incisors are there to shear, right?
Fine. You make mincemeat out of every meat. It's
It's
fine.
absolute. You know who that would fit? You get those people on like again like My Strange Addiction or TLC, the Learning Channel,
Yeah.
quote unquote, right? TLC, the Learning Channel, is like the WhatsApp news of like the Discovery Network. Like National Geographic TLC. Like
So
s-
bad.
no, but like there's a dude who like got famous for eating raw meat. Like he has like a raw meat diet.
Oh yeah, I think I know this one actually.
Yeah, but like, there's a bunch of them. Some of them like leave kidneys in like jars, let it like mold and ferment, and then
Oh,
eat
that's
it.
weird.
That is, yeah, right. But
They're both. It's like okay, but
there's one dude who would like bury like the goats that he would eat raw, okay, and then like dig them up after like a month, and like maggots come out. Then he eats the maggots because he was like the
oh.
nutrients that the maggots get from the ground from eating the goats. I then get.
So I feel like I remember something along these lines, but I don't remember any maggots. Basically, he said something along the lines of, at least the thing I remember was like he put the goat inside to let the natural heat of the earth cook it.
What, cook it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not really cooking. It's just like degrading it. That's
Yeah,
that's
okay, so in certain parts of India, you get like a dish called you know like a lamb biryani. You can get like this dish, and what they do is they cook it as well by putting it under the earth. But what people fail to realize is they start a fire like in the
yeah, yeah,
pit
yeah, yeah.
and
No,
then cover it.
you see it a lot in Bear Grylls and stuff like that,
Yeah,
where he
yeah, yeah.
makes fire to heat up stones underneath, and then he puts like fish, whatever, inside leaves and whatnot, and then covers the whole thing up so the heat
I-
stays inside and doesn't come
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So no, the one I watched, no, he was like the maggots like get nutrients from the ground from eating like the decaying meat, and then if I eat the maggots, I get the
That's
nutrients.
that's gross. That's like my dog's thing that I told you, and not gross. That's good.
You don't want to dox your dog. He's got a job and a reputation to keep up.
And it's just gross.
It is absolutely disgusting. I don't know what we're gonna name this segment because we really jump between a bunch of stuff here. But like
Uh,
the thing,
I'll just title it like. Not gonna lie, I don't know.
but no, like so there's that, and then uh, what was it self-help gurus? Let's just talk about that. This is something I do want to bring up. Unless you have something.
No, I was just gonna make the segue. I was gonna be like, but the thing is, some of these people then talk about their things like they're gurus or something, and that just pisses me off.
Uh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, okay, okay. We should have done it like that. But no,
Okay,
like,
I'm trying.
I okay. I wanna break this topic up into two brackets. Yeah,
Oh my god.
one are the monetary self-help gurus, and the others are the spiritual ones.
You have a
Okay,
PowerPoint.
I do, I do. For the viewers that aren't here, like for the listeners, look at these graves. Look at these graves. But no, like, okay, so everyone knows. Funnily enough, we were talking about NFTs as well. Okay, so pyramid
Yeah.
schemes, NFTs. Everyone knows they're bad. Uh, the new parasite, I think that's like rearing its ugly head. It like reared it a long time ago. I don't know if you like got those adverts. Like the best one I can give is Ty Lopez out here in
Yeah,
my garage. What's this?
the starter basically,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, yeah, kind of, yeah. Okay. After that, there was a bunch of people that were like doing these things where they would say like like uh
Claiming to
businesses
help.
hate me because yeah businesses hate me
Oh,
because like I
yeah,
figured out the one secret and buy my book and you'll figure out what the secret is, right?
yeah. Books
And
and
like
whatnot.
they're always in like a suit, they're in like a nice office, shit like that, right? So um
But it can be fake. That's the thing. Like people don't realize that you can literally rent out a
yeah,
place for like
y-
£10 an hour or whatever,
yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
do a presentation for 3 hours, and you're
The
out
the
there.
the best example, but like the thing they do is like and the thing that never makes sense is I always like I tell you, right, like any place that says they'll give you financial freedom, dodge them like the plague, right?
Nice. No,
Because the thing is they try and portray this image of like like I figured
everyone
out
rich.
how to be yeah I figured out how to be financially free, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I want to give that knowledge to you, but I'm going to charge you for it. So then, like, you already like I'm being financially free by charging you the money, so
yeah.
you can
By
figure
making
out.
you dependent.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
By making you dependent on me,
No, but
therefore I'm independent.
it's exactly the same thing as the NFT people.
Yep.
Like they all like they do realize that they need to make money out of other people because
Yes.
you don't earn money if there's no people buying because the banks are not going to
Yes.
craft money for you to make money, right? You don't
Yeah.
make.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that you made a million, is that people lost a million.
And it's like it's bizarre. Like what makes this really fucked up is the fact that like teleshopping adverts a couple of like 10 years ago was kind of like the scummy part of this because they would target the elderly for it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But like this is really fucked up because what they do is they'll target people who are already down low, like young people, because now like the economy is only getting is only going to get more difficult, right?
Well, yeah, kind of.
And like the thing is like, well, especially during this bracket of COVID, I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
like
Okay.
yeah, right, job markets, all of that kind of stuff, right? So it's only gonna get much worse. And the thing is, what they do is like I was like listening to like some of these stories about people telling. There was one guy, right, who like kept attending all of these seminars, and you would pay ginormous amounts of money that you would then like bump up through the rackets, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know the only other place that like the only other thing that's not a business venture that does this system? Scientology. Scientology is the only one that, right? Right? Okay.
What you
Now
never know
like
about
here's
this?
no, no, but here's the thing. In Scientology, the higher you pay, right, the more thetan
Oh yeah,
points you get,
I remember
right?
this. I remember this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. It's like acquiring souls in Dark Souls. Then you can like spec into like right? The only reason Tom Cruise can do all the shit he does is because he's like a level 92 Thetan who's got like max stamina regen,
Yeah.
right? Like like the thing is like
I know the feeling. I once
yeah,
donated, I once donated 10 euros to the Christian church, and they were like, "Oh shit."
London has a Church of Scientology,
Of course it does.
right? So anyway, but like with like these business ventures and stuff, you keep paying, you buy their resources, and they give you such empty answered, like half-assed explanation about doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the issue is how it's marketed on video. So if you like watch any of these seminars, right, you'll see what they'll do is they'll show like one guy standing in a suit, right? The people in the front row closer to him are also in really nice suits. But he didn't fund them, right? What they've done is they've bought his packages, then they've sold those packages to other people, then they've profited off of them,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So like they're not what the people in the front row are financially dependent on him, right? The people behind the ones in the front row are financially dependent on them, right? And hence the pyramid scheme, right? Yeah, and what happens is like they'll market these videos so amazingly by showing like like oh you only see the front row, you only see the ones that are successful, the ones that have made it, right? But you never like if you're like already down financially, you never stop to think like wait, hold on a minute. There are 10 people in the front row, but like 4,000 people behind them in just regular clothing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means the filtration process must be tight, right? Really puckered, okay? And like, and I read like accounts of people. There was one guy who like went into this is in America. He went into depression because he wanted to buy this package because he was like, that's it. Like this is gonna be the chance for me to like get financial freedom, right? He like tapped the card got declined. He went into depression, but the thing is like because America's healthcare isn't free, he couldn't afford like the help he needed for depression, so he killed himself. Like they yeah, 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 they don't like it's like the same as like false readers, like psychics.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they always say like, what are we doing that's wrong? We're just trying to lift people's mood. You're not. You're giving them false hope,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The kindest thing you can do to a person is make them face reality,
Yeah.
right? And
Exactly.
like the thing is like the reality of the situation is, right, unless you're willing to be that scum that forces like NFTs and like like markets it to people and stuff like that, you're never going to be financially independent.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, companies, because these things all fit into loopholes in the law, right?
Yeah,
They all
yeah,
fit into that department, and then so the first person to ever find out about this, that person is a marketing genius because they
yeah,
do it so right. But then companies start doing this, and when
yeah,
companies do this, it's just weird as well because like it should be legal. Because remember when I told you about the Yves Rocher thing, right?
yeah,
So they sell like perfumes, deodorants, what have you, right? Anything,
yeah, yeah,
cosmetics and stuff, right? And the thing is, they give you a magazine and they tell you you can buy all of these products and you'll have a 10% discount, so you can sell to other people for the full
yeah,
price.
yeah,
And that's the point. Because like if you buy a packet of Coca-Cola cans, right, it comes a
yep,
lot cheaper than one can of Coca-Cola per. can, obviously, right? And technically you could sell those, but it does say on the package like don't sell individually, right?
Yeah,
So people can't like make more money out of it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah. They
Yeah,
build a prop up.
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
And Yves Rocher, what they do, for example, is they give you a 10% discount and they allow you to sell for the full price. And people
yeah,
selling these things are like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! I'm gonna start a business because if I buy this lot of things
yeah.
for £60, I can make a whole £66 out of it." But no, if anything, if you were to sell all of that, you'd make £6 out of that, which is a huge fucking like investment of time, really.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the thing is, what ends up happening is that the only people that are going to be investing, quote unquote, on your business are the people that know you and are like, oh, we should help them out. Well, support local businesses, and those
Yeah,
people are gonna buy like twice at most, and you're gonna be
yeah.
left with like hundreds of pounds of product that you're not gonna use, or you don't want to use, or you don't have a use for.
So, so, so this is interesting because now this can kind of segue into the other half of this, which is
Oh, I
the
forgot that.
spiritual self-help gurus. No,
Yeah.
no, this. So there's another dude, right, called, and he has like quite a large traction on Instagram. Okay,
Okay.
um, he claims that he's like he claims that he's like he was he comes from some spiritual background, right? He was some sort of like monk, okay, and
Okay.
then now people that want to understand how like the general consensus about monks are they renounce all worldly possessions. So they devote their life fully to like either the church or like a temple. Okay, but you denounce everything and like serve your life completely for God, right?
Yeah.
And like it's your choice. You want to do that, do you, right? Because the thing is like it how you find sustenance, that's up to you. But
Yeah.
like the thing is now like it's like being marketed, right? So there's a dude who like says like like, oh, like I used to be a monk and I renounced everything, and these are like some of the stuff they taught me, right? But like it turns out that everything he like tells people are just rehashed Facebook posts, basically. Like if you always say no, you'll never say yes, right?
Einstein, 2017.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Okay. The first law of photosynthesis. But like he would market it like that, right?
Yeah.
And it baffles me how the part that scares me is not the fact that like he's marketing like his biggest like the people who eat this stuff aren't like elderly people or people in middle age. They're like our age. They're our age,
They're
right?
goops.
Yeah, right. That yeah, literally, that's the best way to describe them. They're all goops, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, they're all bunch of Gwyneth Paltrows,
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
like and like the whole like new age medicine stuff like that,
yeah.
right? So he'll say this kind of stuff, and then they'll be like, oh my god, it's so true. But now this is where this is where like the marketing goes up a notch, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember how like a while ago I was saying like in the old days how they used to like promote martial arts is they would use technical biological terms, right? So they'll be like, if I strike him here, it'll cut his vagus nerve, and
Yeah.
that'll right. So they don't know, like, okay, in the case of the martial artists, they don't even know where the fucking vagus nerve actually is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a buzzword,
The people.
right? So yeah, we'll get to that. So it's literally just a buzzword, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what ends up happening is, uh, they'll use scientific-ish buzzwords, right?
Yeah.
This is quantum spirituality, right? What as soon as you ask them what part of it makes it quantum, right?
Yeah.
They won't be able to answer you, right?
You know,
And
it's
here's the
the technological part stuff.
yeah, it's the parasympathetic nervous system,
Yeah.
right? and, and like and like the best example I can give of this
Quadruple
is
processor.
yeah, a triple processor. No,
Bro.
but like a triple processor of spirituality. But
Yeah.
like the best example I can give about this is like my folks. They listen to a lot of these like spiritual gurus, right? My father and I have like a lot of bouts about this. But the thing is like what he fails to realize is one guru in particular will say like scientific things, right? He'll be like, it's been scientifically proven, right? And then he'll give some random statistic. He'll be like that 98% of people. I'm like, where are you getting your resources from?
Kumar specialist said.
Yeah, right, right. Like, what do you and if you watch this guru's videos in particular, right?
Yeah.
Any person who comes out of like who has who's passed like high school or sixth form, right, will understand the shit this guy's saying makes no sense. If you watch his videos, he never gives a straight answer for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
um for example, what he'll do is like there was one of in one of his conventions, a woman like stood up and she asked him like what is it, it's not, why do Hindus continue to consume milk when you want to promote, like the guy promotes like a healthy living, he says like it's good to be vegetarians, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now like the conflict between vegetarian and vegans are two separate things, right?
Yeah.
But like he was like she was like, if you want to promote a healthy living, why do you tell us to consume milk? Because there have been studies that have shown that milk isn't good for humans, right? Like I said, we're the only animals that are lactose intolerant on the planet. Yeah. And then he doesn't answer the question. He does like this roundabout answer, right? And then she does something that makes sense, which is like, I'm sorry, so what exactly are you trying to say? She wants him to clarify, right? So what he does is he gets like the crowd to start like making fun of her. Like he'll be like like to try and break the confidence, okay? Now what happens is, okay, when you put yourself on a pedestal like this and you say stuff like like I'm a spiritual guru and stuff like that, you get folks like my parents, right, that'll watch these and who have worked hard their entire life, okay, and like everyone's looking for something that'll give their life meaning, okay, and then they'll start buying into this shit,
Yeah.
right,
My
right,
son.
and like yeah, exactly, and like the thing is like you don't realize after that how easy it is to actually push an agenda,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It really
Well,
is. Really is. We should.
exactly, 100%, right?
Yeah.
It did.
No
You
doubt.
know, you know, the creator of Scientology said, if a man wants to get rich, don't start a business, start a religion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so like like he markets himself to these self-help gurus, right? For one thing, like, okay, one thing that he said really retarded that my dad like told me about was he said I've told you about this. He said that like why do the reason why we don't see birds dying despite there being so many is
Oh
because
yeah. Yeah.
birds know, yeah, birds know when they're gonna die, so they fly into space, which then technically means that if NASA was to like go out into orbit, they'll just see a bunch of bird boats just to pterodactyl.
You know, you know when they're driving really fast through a storm of like grasshoppers or something, they're all going to be on
Yeah,
the windshield.
yeah,
People,
yeah,
astronauts going to space. Just,
yeah, just a bunch of birds. But no, like if you literally like a quick Google search just shows that, oh, it turns out that like birds know, like when they get old, they don't know when they're gonna die. They just know they're old, which means they're tired of flying because it takes a lot of movement,
yeah,
right? So what they do is they hide into like bushes and stuff like that, and then to get away from predators. And then when death comes, they die, and then because they're so hollow, they decompose quick. That's it, right?
have you ever seen a baby pigeon? That's right, you haven't because they actually come from Mars, Kumar, and they grow wild colors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like, or like, there was another one as well where they say something like, and I will say this: when I was young, I used to watch some of these dudes' videos with my dad,
When I was young,
and
2 years ago.
yeah, no, I used to watch these videos with my dad, and like as a kid, you'd be like, oh my god, it speaks so much sense and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right? I don't think, and like these people always say science as if like it's like a terminal illness. They'll be like, well, science says, like there's like a disgust in their voice. You know what I mean,
you know what?
right?
One of my favorite um things to watch as a quote unquote kid, like when I was a teenager
Yeah,
or something. I just
yeah.
put on Discovery Channel and I would pray for dirty jobs to come up.
Which one's that?
Basically, this guy just goes to do a job that it's just like dirty work, pretty much, like
Oh, okay, okay.
sewers, stuff like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he talks real science in those ones.
No, no, no. But like,
He actually
yeah.
does.
So they'll say it as if it's like some sort of illness, right?
Yeah.
And and if you look at his audience, they're from a part of India where they're really illiterate,
Oh, okay,
right?
right.
So what you're doing is you're not liberating people spiritually. You're creating a new generation of idiots.
You're just not a believer, you know?
I'm quite happy not to be,
Oh,
right?
come on,
In
don't be
in
like
fact,
that.
in fact, right? He said that he said this line, which is like he said like there's a conflict within the human soul already. That's like I was out of the wind, but like he's like there's a conflict between the human soul, right? Uh, the mind wants to know and the heart wants to believe, right? But if you let the mind rule your choices, you'll see all of your beliefs crumble as if it's a bad thing. What is belief? Belief is faith in the absence of evidence. That's all it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay? So your mind wanting to know is literally your mind trying to show you what reality actually is.
I believe you're wrong.
Yeah, okay, well, case in point, right? But like but you know what I mean, right? So
Yeah.
he's it's more mature of you to accept, right? That and this is gonna be such a positive message. It's more mature of you to accept that the universe doesn't care about your existence, right? Okay? We live, we die, right? Which is why I don't know, like it's better to accept that fact because then you realize like there are so many things in life that just don't have meaning, so you start focusing on the things that do give you meaning,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like
Create a
the
legacy.
yeah, right? And the argument that like,
Start
oh,
a religion.
yeah, no, but like the argument that like, oh, atheists have nothing to live for. It's not. We just have nothing to die for.
What do you mean? I
Like
have a lot to live for, you know? God of War 2 is coming out like this
there's
or next year.
remastered edition,
Elden Ring
Elden Ring,
has
nice. No, but like, and all the DLCs with Elden Ring.
oh
Remember Dark Souls?
I
but no, but no, like that's what I mean. And it's like it's you. I don't like. I don't. I don't understand. Like, what are you so scared of? Once you're dead, that's it, right?
yeah.
Being dead is like being stupid. It's only painful for other people, right? Like,
Oh
I
fuck.
don't. Right?
Yeah,
Like, it literally makes no sense.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and these spiritual gurus, right, that say like they have no agenda to push. There's always some religious like backbone to it,
Mhm,
okay?
mhm.
And the thing that doesn't make sense about religious people that they fail to accept is your the if you were to go to a devout Christian and say like, do you believe in Hindus? They'll be like, what? No, they believe in like cows and shit, like cow gods and stuff. That's ridiculous. So they're technically atheists to all those gods,
Yeah.
except to the one of their own, right? And like,
But my one is better than yours.
yeah, exactly. It's literally at least like there was never a war in like Yemen and Syria over like Superman being better than Iron Man. Like, you know what I mean?
But like my god has 10,000 attack base.
Yeah, yes, this is what I mean. And like you get people that are like that are gonna like fight over this,
Yeah.
right? And what like a lot of religious people fail to realize is all of these doctrines and practices come from a time where you didn't know anything, so you try and rationalize, right?
Hmm.
Because what do you do? It's literally it's a process. The best example is like say you're a caveman, right? You're in like a forest, okay? And what ends up happening is you're walking through the bushes, you hear like a rumble behind you, and you're like, okay, what is it? So there's two thought processes that happen to you there, okay?
Yeah.
You either one investigate, and you think it's like a tiger, so you investigate, and it turns out if it is a tiger, right? uh No, no. So what it is like, this is the best example I have. Okay, so you hear a rumble behind the bushes. Okay, and here's the thing: you think it's a tiger. Turns out it's not a tiger. It's a false positive, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
you think it's a tiger. You don't check. You get. It turns out it is a tiger, right? That's it. False negative. You're out of the gene pool, right?
Yeah.
But what these spiritual gurus are trying to say is,
Yeah.
your heart wants to believe it's not a tiger, so just believe it's not a tiger,
Oh.
right? Like I don't, and this is the thing. Like this is the thing. I get like relatives that share these videos. 5 relatives share this one video, right? So you're just creating these you're mass producing stupid people,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
terrifying,
And
right?
the thing is, right? So okay, this is a bit, yeah, weeb, but
Right, right.
Dragon Ball treats the topics of getting better and powering up
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
as like work over um like genes, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Basically, if you work hard enough, you can reach
yeah,
a very high
yeah,
right? You can overpass you surpass the bar,
yeah, yeah.
right? So I do believe that people with like bad genes can become better, like smarter.
100%.
You don't have to be inherently intelligent to do intelligent
A
things,
100%.
right?
Whenever someone says like, "Oh, this person has really good genetics," where do you think he got it from? Like, it took time to build it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So like, and like the one thing that I've come to understand at the end of like all of this stuff about like self-help gurus and self-help books in general, right? You want to read good self-help books, right? Literally read any books on war strategies.
oh, okay.
I'm not even sure. You
Yeah,
you read something from Sun Tzu, right?
yeah.
And you get the idea of how a general leads his life, and you get the idea of how like a general can command a room,
Can you
right?
imagine if this gets really famous and like 10,000 people listen to this and they're like, "Oh hell yeah!" and they
Yeah.
all their office is like, "Jordan, go fuck that PC up. We
No,
need
no,
that
no. But like,
now."
you'll have like there was a video where like I saw one where it's like a guy was like uh he was like, I run like an IT team, right?
Yeah.
And they don't seem to like want to listen to me and stuff like that. And like this guru guy was like, like, oh well, like just vibe on your own, do your own thing. What are you doing?
No.
D- no,
No.
right? the
Run
best the
your team.
best Yeah, run your team, literally. Okay,
Try to be
so
unpopular.
Sun Tzu says, right, that the conviction of an army is embodied in the leader that they follow,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and like the best example I can give is Alexander the Great during his last like invasion, right? His whole army was like, "That's it, we're tired, we want to go home." He's like, "All right, fuck you guys, I'm going in alone," right? And
Yeah.
then as soon as they saw him like trying like heading straight forward to like a single man leading an army, they're like, "Fuck it, we've made it this far, we may as well continue," right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you instill that spirit, like that spirit into the other person, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're gonna say like like, oh, like you want to be nihilistic about the right things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
If you're angling for like a managerial position, but then when like the managerial position becomes difficult, it's not good to be like, what's the point, we're all going to die anyway, like whatever, like I don't care, right?
I think this is what I wanted to say though, like with the work thingy, because like you can work to do smart things or intelligent things without being all that smart or all that
Yeah,
intelligent.
yeah,
But you can also work to do exactly the opposite.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And like the thing is like they make they these like self-help gurus and stuff like that, they make people really really lazy.
yeah. Because people want to go like the easy way out. They want the
Exactly.
easy way to do.
Exactly. And like you and I are by no means like giga chads that are like achieving stuff. But
No,
like we can both reconcile the idea that like when push comes to shove, we're gonna have to sacrifice hours to get the things we want to get done.
yeah, 100%.
Right? And like it For me, like my main motivator in life was always the fact that like I was surrounded by people 100. I sound like Dan Aykroyd. I just surround myself with people more intelligent than me, right? Which is everyone, right? Like
Triple processed diamond skull head crystal
head
vodka
Newfoundland, old America vodka, right?
from Norway.
Yeah, yeah, right. And like, but no, it's like it's literally like you understand that you're already at a disadvantage,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And like, uh, and you want something, right? There's no spiritual teaching from this. Put your head down, grit your teeth, get to fucking work. That's all it is, right? And like, you in life, you're supposed to have your beliefs tested.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're supposed to have everything. You know, the best example was in Simpsons. They did like a parody of like what actually happened to the original like Incans when the conquistadors arrived, right?
Yeah.
When the Incans were shielded by from like the rest of society, right? And then when the conquistadors arrived, they came out with like spears, and the conquistadors met them with guns, right? So like,
The conquistadors sound like a Mexican band, like Los Conquistadores. Traidor.
me llamo conquistador, el gato.
Es bueno.
But no, like, uh, and the best line that like I've heard on that like the whole of Simpsons was walls that keep out danger keep out knowledge, right? You're
Oh,
supposed you're
yeah.
supposed to you're supposed to like experience all these horrible stuffs,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because then that's how you evolve,
That's life.
right? Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And literally like these financial freedom, self-help, right? All of these things kind of keep you back from it. They literally you're outsourcing your troubles to people that clearly don't even give a shit, right?
One of my mates, like, so he went to work, right?
Yeah,
It was the
yeah,
first time he was gonna go work. It was like crazy. He was going away for months and stuff like that, right? And the first day, I kid you not, the first day he dropped his phone and the phone cracked, and he couldn't use his phone to contact his family while away and stuff like that.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
When he came back, he decided, I'm gonna fix this phone, and I'm gonna buy a new one as well, because that
yeah,
way I'll have two if anything happens. So what happened is he left the first phone. He fixed it, but he left it to the point of it not working, because he
yeah,
just left it standing still for so long that it stopped working, and he only used the new one. So he went one day, just we go fishing, right? And he dropped this phone in the water. And it was an expensive phone, right? And just like,
yeah.
life just hates me. I'm like, no, dude, it just
You're
happened.
just being
You
you're
know?
just being dumb, yeah.
It just
Like
happened.
whole like, no, but like that's the thing as well. Like and like
Now you've
I've
learned
had I've,
to
I've
go.
had yeah. Yeah, I've had like relatives like tell me stuff like like they were like there was once this story about this is like a story like one of my relatives told me, but it was like a
Oh,
person like he had like an entrance exam that he needed to do, right? And instead of revising, he prayed, and literally like when it came to the exam, he passed. I'm like, but either passing by no metric is difficult. Anyone who says I did zero revision, I passed, that's not an impressive thing,
it's not
right?
a brag. Is this in
Yeah,
England as well?
yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah, right.
with that 40% pass thing.
Yeah, 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 right. Okay, and then like the second thing I said was like, well, he's clearly ungrateful because if he has the resources and he has the time, put the hours into the work,
Yeah, 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 definitely. Like,
right?
yeah, it's just
And
people
like and like
don't need to be born knowing things. Just try
you
to
would
learn them.
you would think right that like a god who like puts us like onto like this earth, right?
Yeah,
And who gives us all of these challenges. Let's say he gives us all of these challenges, right? He's testing us. Surely you would think then he would be like, you know what, right? Like on the gates, in the pearly gates, like when you finally die, you think he'd be like, you know what? You didn't spend an hour worshipping me, but you took out everything I threw in front of you. Get in here. You think he'd say that, you
yeah.
know,
Get in
right?
here, you.
Yeah, yeah, literally. You absolute Chad. Nice work. Get in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sit by Buddha by the pool, right? Like you know what I mean, like, right? But instead, you're told that like we have all of these problems caused by him, right? By making us exist. Okay, and he's pissed off that we're not ignoring them and we're focusing. Like, I don't understand. Real quick, what's our timestamp on now? Like, what are we?
129.06.
Oh, completely honest with like the listeners. We were planning on going for like an hour. We had no
Yeah.
idea. We're such overachievers.
I am gonna be honest though, I'm a bit skeptical about this one because I forgot to turn on my noise removal. So on my end, for at least 40 minutes might be a bit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it might be.
I can deal with
Yeah,
it.
tell me like that.
Last episode was me talking as if like I'm like ciao to customer services, ciao to customer services.
What?
Like, yeah. But yeah, no. So that was like my rant and tirade on.
Last episode, you talking
Yeah.
is like music on the waiting line.
Yeah. Like it's funny because like just before we recorded that episode, I had like this massive like rant about how I hate my own voice, and then like after you finished editing it, you were like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna love this episode." But yeah, no, I yeah, that was my rant. I don't know if you have like a topic that you want.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, I can bring something up actually. So we're
Go for it.
always, for some reason, somehow, our conversations always end up in Asia or start in Asia in some
Yes,
way, right?
yes, we're cultural. What can we do? You can't hate
Yeah,
us for
yeah.
it.
We start in
Yeah,
Asia, we end in Asia. You know,
yeah, yeah.
the
All
whole
right.
world, the whole 80 days. Um,
Yeah.
so, I- from 8 to 80, but
Blind, cripple, or crazy, you still gonna be my child.
I end up in Asia. So I was thinking, like, we've also been discussing and talking quite honestly of how much we'd like to see Japan, and
Yes.
let's not try to be the I'm different from other girls. Oh my god, right? We want to see the stuff about anime. We want to see the stuff that we see in normal media, right? The
Yeah.
the weeb stuff, the geeky stuff,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've got my Demon Slayer robes on. Like
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
carrying kunais into the
yeah.
train. Yeah,
Sick. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, like we want to see those things as well, obviously, and there's no hiding it. There's no need to. We do, like, for example, I myself, I would fucking go there just to eat a fucking bowl of ramen noodles, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really,
100%.
right? And,
100%.
and that's a big
Oh,
anime.
that would be cool. That would be cool. A ramen crawl.
Yeah, sick.
Start south, go north. Just
Yeah,
ramen all the way.
that sounds awesome and expensive,
Yeah.
but awesome. um,
It's actually not. Apparently, like the two things in Japan that actually make it quite like expensive is is the accommodation where you want to stay, right? And what is it like certain in large parts of the transport because they have a train network, but the thing is like it's so disjointed. You're gonna constantly be spending money for like different
yeah.
passes. Yeah.
So what I wanted to bring up though is obviously, as per usual, Google is listening to us constantly,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I open YouTube and it's like a suggestion saying
Yeah.
how
Yeah. The
you
dog
wouldn't
end. That's
you wouldn't like you wouldn't like to live in Japan. Literally, a Japanese girl is just like you wouldn't like to live in Japan because
yeah.
people hear about Japan, you hear about Asia, other cultures, and it's like it's always really cool. Like the media perceives things in a really cool manner, right?
Yeah.
That's their job, making things appealing.
Yeah.
And the girl is saying how you wouldn't like living in Japan. And after that video, I'm like, okay, that's kind of fair. I see her points. I press on the YouTube thing to like refresh the recommended page, and there's another guy saying how hard it is to actually start off in Japan and actually live in Japan permanently as a foreigner, right? And I'm like, okay, this is getting a bit out of hand to be honest, but I'll watch it. First of all, I don't like vloggers in general, but vloggers in Japan, they try to be as high energy and anime as possible, and I fucking hate that.
It's actually funny because the Japanese public are actually the complete opposite of what they show
yeah,
in Japan, like in
yeah,
anime.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so they try to be like really energetic and whatnot in the
bubbly and
to
sugoi. Yeah,
yeah, I just hate that. But
yeah, yeah. I
the
do
thing
too.
about this guy abroad in I think it's abroad in Japan.
Oh, he's cool, a British dude, right?
He's a British dude, and the thing I like about
Yeah,
him the most is that he's so British. He's so negative. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's
I realized like the British attitude to things can fit in Japan quite well.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's just like you know, it's not a sunny day. There's a cloud in the sky. It's probably going to rain tomorrow.
I saw one of his videos where he was at some place that was quite close to North Korea,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
In Japan. And like they would have like routine alarms whenever North Korea would like fire their missiles, like testing,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Okay. And like he started his vlogs going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, it's another missile." And he wasn't scared of the fact that it was a missile. He was just getting pissed off that his sleep was getting interrupted,
Yeah,
right?
the guy in one of my episodes, he was complaining in one of my episodes in the thing I'm talking about. He was
Yeah, yeah.
complaining that the neighbor was snoring too loud and he couldn't sleep. I'm like,
Yeah.
sucks in it. Yeah,
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of a really negative the person we know the oh come
oh
on he
yeah,
kind of does, doesn't he? Because in one of he did like an episode of like the overnight trains in Japan. Like you can board on overnight trains to get to certain parts of Japan, right? And like depending obviously on how much money you pay, you can get like the first class cabin and like the okay. And he brought one of his Japanese friends and he was like well, I've got this absolute shithole, and Yuichi's got like a really nice room. How do you snaggle that?
yeah. So, but what this led me to was the conclusion it led me to was that it's not just Japan that's like this. I keep saying that Portugal sucks, right? Portugal sucks.
Yeah,
These are the reasons why. Then I've been in England and I'm like, well, England's not as bad as Portugal financially, in my opinion, but in general, it will eventually get boring and stale and annoying, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then you start thinking about literally every other place in the world, and you're just gonna be like, if you actually take time to be in that place, you'll eventually have enough of it. It's the same thing I told you about good moments, right? If there's
yeah,
always a good moment, if you're always living in a good moment, that good moment is
yeah,
eventually not going to be a good moment.
yeah. Yeah. It's they say something like
Good time.
time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we went French fries when we should have gone pizza. No, but like the thing is, like, it's like what's its name? There was a joke where it was like you're only people willingly like choose 1 week holidays because after 1 week they're like that's it, I want to return back to regular life,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you get tired.
yeah.
Yeah, the novelty wears off, that's what it is. Literally the novelty just wears off, and then going back to what you were used to becomes the new novelty again, you know.
One problem most of them actually had about Japan is that you're not going to be able to work literally anywhere unless you want to be an English teacher.
Yeah, okay, so
English than Japanese, but
so
everything
so
for Japanese.
so here's something interesting. When
Yeah,
for a short while I was learning gaming design in college,
game.
right? And yeah, gaming. But like I was learning gaming design in college, and to enter that course they made you do a thing where you had to sketch three different things. It can be anything you want, anything that like around, but it has to be realistic,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it can be like a landscape picture, it can be like an architectural, it can be self-portrait, anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing it can't be, right, is anime.
Oh
they
yeah, yeah.
they do not yeah, they don't accept anime because the thing is they were saying like if you want to go into like anime and stuff like that, unless you're Japanese and you know someone in Japan, this course isn't gonna like let you get onto it.
You're not gonna get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wasted energy basically.
But
And
but
like the
then
thing is,
but then those people get like, oh, but it's my dream. You don't know what you're talking about. But those people are being realistic. You know, they're not gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
gurus.
yeah, yeah. I think there's one thing. All of the if I remember, like the handful of like good teachers in my like academic life were never people who said like you can't do something. They'll be like, it's gonna be tough to break into this.
Yeah, and also,
Like,
I just took my job. How do you feel?
yeah,
Like shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, like legit, like they're the ones that yeah, well, no, they're the ones that say like it's tough. You're not gonna like this. You're gonna There are gonna be times where you hate it,
Definitely.
right? And that's what engineering was like. Our opening day, like during my first year orientation, our lecturer, like the head lecturer at the time for the first years, he came on stage and he was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you. In in the previous year, we had I think 200 students enroll. By the time it came to Christmas, it came down to 110, and then by the end of like the second term, it was like down to like I think 70.
That,
Right?
that's an awesome brag for us, though, isn't it?
It is. We made it through.
Yeah.
Right? And like what did help us make it through? It wasn't God or anything. It was hard work, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
And a lot
and
of
like
alcohol for me.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean for me it was like so many fucking sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't as in like pills to help me stay awake, not like pills to help me
Yeah.
sleep.
No, for me,
Yeah,
it was, what was the painkiller that everyone has for some reason?
paracetamol.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, for me, it's paracetamol.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
I
like,
I'm a vampire. Don't like
but
pain.
like, I hate you so much. But no, like, it's like, yeah, it's. I never got like, I never got the the obsession with it, and like, I never realized as well like how reluctant Japan. By the way, Japan. Every country has their faults. Some have more than others. But in Japan, a very dangerous thing is if you're a foreigner there, right? You don't actually have a lot of rights.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And people
Yeah,
look you weirdly.
yeah. And it's a very xenophobic place because
Yeah.
they don't like foreigners. Okay? There was a case about some woman who came from Bangladesh to Japan on like a work visa. She fell in love with someone there. It wasn't a work visa. She was studying, I think, like architecture, right? She fell in love with someone there. He prevented her from going to school, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is he I think he made like a false allegation against her, called the police. The police kept her in incarceration. And how you have like representatives for foreign nationals in different countries,
Yeah.
right? One of them got called because she used a free call to like call them, and the lady who was like representing her kept telling like the prison officers and stuff like she's clearly not well, like there's something off with about her, she's pale and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, 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 whatever. She died after 3 days of like being in cast. Like if you're an outsider, Japan's not exactly the most like if you they understand when you're a tourist.
Yeah.
That's something, right? But like
You
but
like
like if
anime?
okay. I mean, like but like that is the thing, like the most, yeah, xenophobic. That's the only way you can really say it.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was thinking just now as well, and let me take back one portion of my sentences. It's
Yeah.
Norway. Norway is always good. Norway is always good. No one, they don't even know what baby crying sounds like. You know, Norway's
Yeah, I've noticed Norway,
Denmark,
Switzerland was also
Denmark, I
Switzerland.
think.
Yeah, Switzerland I fell in love with. I think like for me like Switzerland is an end goal.
But
Swiss
they speak Dutch
Swiss
there some parts. Yeah.
No, but the most part it's like English or Swiss German,
Ugh, still,
right?
but yeah,
And like for me, like my end goal is either like Switzerland or like Washington. I don't want to go to. People always say who like the ones who say that. Oh my god, New York is so good. Is it? I see like hot dog water like evaporating into like the streets.
that's
Like
right.
I'm afraid I'm gonna like I'm afraid I'm gonna restart swine flu if I like breathe in New York. Like
Just wear a condom, Kumar. What?
yeah, I'm over here to be greedy.
So I brought my 14
You
condoms.
know how like he wore like that cock sock to
Yeah,
so in just for people who don't know, in like
yeah,
one of
okay.
the older episodes of like 90 Day Fiance, there was a dude called Paul.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah, Paul, he goes to meet his fiance to be for 90 days, and she lives in the Amazon, and he takes like a military unit of equipment, and one of the things he takes is a cocksock that he puts on
Yeah.
before he like jumps into the water, right? Because he's afraid of like, I don't know, like disease or fish swimming up there.
Did
I'd
he
wear the
wear
same,
did he wear
but
that on top of a condom or a
he
condom?
wore he wore a condom, then he wore the cocksock, then he wore a condom on top of the cocksock,
Oh, okay. Nice. Thick.
right? Yeah, exactly. And I would do the same thing in New York, not because of penis fish, just in case I find a hobo up there. Like I don't want to take any I don't want to take any chances.
Hobo bump.
Oh my god. No, it's a bum bump.
Bump, bump.
But yeah, no, like I think like a lot of countries are really good to visit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there are a few that actually like make you feel like you're welcome to stay in a sense. You know,
Would you live in Australia actually?
I would,
Would
I
you
would. Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
I have something against it, but I don't know what.
I know like a common friend of ours doesn't like it because of like all the animals and stuff that can kill you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's
Having said
I know about Australia
it,
too. So
it's fair. I think that is a fair thing to be scared of. Having said that, like I think that it's I don't. Ooh, let's see. I wouldn't. Where wouldn't I live? I I wouldn't go back to India. I'll say that much. Um, that's just a personal gripe. Nothing against the country. Maybe. Anyway. But yeah, no. I think I'd live in Australia. I think I'd live in Australia. To be honest, like all of these places, I'd live there just for the food.
oh,
Japan, you'd go for the food. Hong Kong, you'd go for the food. Singapore, you'd go for the food. Like any of these places are just phenomenal for food, right? Even like Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, all of these places,
Finland. Yeah,
food.
yeah. The only thing I really want to try from the Nordic countries though is reindeer. Apparently they serve reindeer, and that sounds awesome.
Apparently, right? You know how like you have like sheep herders and cow herders, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
They
Oh,
have like reindeer herders.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't. You're not allowed to ask them like how many reindeers they actually have in their herd. It's the equivalent of asking a man his salary.
Yeah, that shouldn't be taboo though, in my opinion.
Well, asking a person their salary.
Yeah, because if everyone knows everyone's salary, no one can get used. That's my
N-
opinion.
I don't actually understand. Like, I don't know where the insult comes from. To be honest,
I don't know. It's like
it's
that
they always say,
age. It's like why?
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't understand like where the insult actually comes from. I think like I think like if someone has like a low income salary, right,
Yeah,
and they look it like it wouldn't be that surprising to the other person, would it?
yeah.
And like if someone has a low income salary but they dress nicely, then that'll be a positive surprise because you'll be like, oh, how are you doing that? You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's your secret?
yeah.
So yeah, but bottom line, Japan, yeah, it'd be great. You would want to stay there. Chances are like you I think I showed you the video, right, of like that female streamer that like got
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah. I saw that too. Yeah,
yeah, it was really messed up.
that's really
Really,
funny.
really messed up.
She got
Yeah.
basically this female streamer. She was streaming in public, right? And two Indian guys just came over and just like, "Oh, show
Just
up."
just 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 real quick. You don't understand how unlucky you have to be where like public groping in Japan. By the way, public groping in Japan is a very common thing that happens because the Japanese government haven't like there's a lot of gray area for what they call not groping,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So public groping in Japan, as in a lot of countries, right, like goes under the radar quite a bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And people are like ashamed of it when they
Yeah,
do.
yeah, 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 yeah. And she found two Indian guys, right?
Which
From
in Japan is just
which
like,
is which
whoa.
which is yeah, yeah. And but the part that makes it really odd is that India in itself is a very sexually repressed country,
Yeah.
and she found two of them in Japan, which is also a really sexually repressed country. Like how unlucky do you You know, like life is only gonna go up from there.
Do you reckon when they appeared, there was like stars and stuff because they were shiny?
Yeah, 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 100%, 100%. They got like nosebleeds. No, but like I don't. I felt so bad for her. That must be terrifying.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because it was like a dark city street as well. You know, like what I mean. Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
there
yeah,
wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of people there.
yeah, yeah.
My God, man,
So
genuinely
strange.
terrifying,
Still funny.
terrifying.
I'm sorry, but it's still funny to me though.
No, I'm like, I wouldn't want that sort of bad luck in my life. Like
I
that's,
wouldn't either. I wouldn't either, and I wish it upon no one. But the fact that it
yeah,
happened is funny.
I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemies. Like,
Yeah,
oh man, genuinely, that was terrifying. Anything else you want to talk?
I really need to take a piss.
Well, I think this is a good time to call it quits for the podcast episode. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. You know, Jazz gonna do his he's gonna do his magic, and I'm just gonna look good for the camera. And we should have like another episode in about like
In
yeah.
a
All right, guys. Take care.
All right.